Monday morning, 8:42. This is the time we put aside for one of the great famed defense attorneys in the country today, a friend dating all the way back to our days at Poly Prep, and that is the great Joe Tacopina. Joe, you know, Artie Adala came in on Friday with some old pictures, polyglot pictures, of me and you and Danny Fagliano and Gary Hanna and Rapino and Del Corso and the whole crew from the 5th, 6th, and 7th grades. And, well, we look a little different, Joe.
Yeah, just a little different. I did have some really rough periods, though, during those years. I remember some serious hair issues and circles in my eyes. But, yeah, we definitely look different.
So did I. I weighed about 80 pounds soaking wet with braces, and I was asthmatic, and it wasn't easy. Again,
hair.
That's right.
You had that nice hair, too, huh?
I had some hair. Joe and I were voted in our yearbook the two least likely to succeed. And, well, how does our ass taste now, is what Shaq once asked Kobe Bryant.
Exactly.
So, look, the big story today is this guy, Pantaleo. This is a cop that was involved in the Eric Garner death. Was it a chokehold? Was it an arm? Whatever it was. A grand jury in Staten Island 4 years ago elected not to indict him. That doesn't mean that a Justice Department civil case isn't right around the corner, and it doesn't mean that Jimmy O'Neill won't fire this guy. The trial starts today. This is his own people putting him on trial. They're wondering whether or not he's going to testify. Two things. First of all, do you think he should have been charged in the death of Eric Garner? And, in fact, in this situation, if you were his attorney, Joe, would you have him testify?
Well, look, there's two things. As far as the death of Eric Garner, here's what I say. I'm a defense lawyer. I've represented people whose civil rights have been violated, and I appreciate the outcry when there's a human being who, in that video, it looks like he's doing nothing but resisting, but certainly not doing something that should cause his death. That being said, it's hard to put yourselves in a cop's shoes unless you're a cop. You know, we all go to work every day, Sid, you, me, Bernie, and we hope we have a good day at work, okay? A cop goes to work every day and hopes that they're going to come home.
Right.
And I think it's hard to appreciate that unless you're out there, walking that beat. That being said, I don't understand. There's training and there's things that went on in the academy. So maybe they need to be adjusted, but I don't think necessarily what he did was something that should have put him on trial for murder or homicide in any way, shape, or form, because he wasn't trying to kill Eric Garner. Now, he does have, now what's come out since then is the long list of disciplinary complaints against this individual, this officer, Daniel Pantaleo. 14 individual allegations that were lodged against him during his time on the force. So, he's under now a different level of scrutiny, and he has to be in a position where he'll be tried by the department. That's a different standard. The bar is much lower. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form this guy's going to maintain his badge for much longer.
No, but as you point out, he certainly did not wake up that morning and intend to murder a man. The guy, in fact, just yesterday, you had Attorney General Barr was speaking down in Washington, D.C., and he said, comply first, complain later. And that's exactly what Eric Garner did not do, and a lot of people don't do, and ugly things ensue.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard to watch that video, though, when you hear him keep repeatedly saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. But look, I've represented cops in those positions. I was involved in the Louima case and Diallo case for a while, and I understand the differences in us making an analysis sitting in our comfort of our office or our studios and saying, here's what he should have done. You're out there, adrenaline's pumping. The guy was a massive guy. I mean, there's physical force being used. So I just think we have to give the benefit of the doubt to the police officer until and unless there's real evidence that he was trying to do something illegal, and I don't see it here.
We've talked many, many times, Joe, over the years about you are a defense attorney. You've represented some people that are kind of rough, but you do draw the line, right? I mean, you don't take on every single case. There are just certain people you will not defend, whether it's a mobster or somebody like that. Harvey Weinstein, I tell you, the longer this thing goes on, the more and more people are starting to think that he really has a chance despite just a mountain of people coming out him, that he's got a chance. He's put together this dream team, and now he's got Aidala and his wife, and Jose Baez, who's gotten people, quite frankly, like the lady in Orlando who killed her kid off. Harvey Weinstein, A, would you take that case? And B, are you starting to see what I'm starting to see, which is he may get off?
So I was called about the case, but I didn't take it. I mean, there's a different reason for deciding to take it or not take a case. I was asked about it. But here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about that. I was involved in the Michael Jackson case, the last trial before, he passed away, the one he was acquitted on.
So were you there before Garagos or after Garagos?
After.
Okay.
After. And I will say this to you. Michael Jackson was acquitted in that case, and I think there's not a lot of people in the world who think that Michael Jackson didn't do some pretty bad things with some kids.
Right.
But that was not the right complainant. That was not the right plaintiff. That was not the right case to bring, because those people were trying to extort Michael Jackson. That I believe. And I believe that that was the wrong case for a prosecution to bring to take down Michael Jackson. I think you have a little bit of a similar situation in New York County with the complainant in this case against Harvey Weinstein. I don't think there's anyone who thinks Harvey Weinstein, is a good guy, is a guy that you'd want your wife or daughter around. He has, propensity to do things that are sleazy. That does not make him guilty of what he's indicted with or charged with here. And what I'll say is this, you have to get a jury who's going to be intellectual enough to honor their oath and say, okay, I'm going to put aside, this is not about let me get justice for every other person who's not part of this trial. This has to be based on these facts and this complainant. And what I see from this case, it's not a slam dunk by any stretch. Everyone thinks Harvey Weinstein's guilty of being a sleazeball and all that. He's not on trial for being a sleazeball. He's being on trial. He's being tried for committing serious sexual offenses, crimes, serious felonies that could put him away for life. He has to be tried for those allegations in this courtroom. And I think it's not a slam dunk, Sid. It doesn't mean some other prosecutor after that in California or in Florida or wherever is not going to line up and take the next shot. But if you just evaluate the case that's being brought here, it is not a slam dunk.
So you think the casting couch is a real thing? It's a sleazy thing, but it's a viable defense, especially in a case like Harvey Weinstein.
I think I would focus more on the credibility of the complainant in this case. The credibility of the complainant, is really where you want to go here, because I think they're not putting Harvey Weinstein up on that witness stand. I mean, I would be shocked, because then it opens a Pandora's box to a whole line of questioning regarding his credibility and everything else. So I think the focus is going to have to be on the credibility of the complainant, the woman who's going to be up there. And quite frankly, if she is going to have issues with her credibility, that's where you have to put your eggs in that basket, because if she's shown a propensity to embellish, not tell the truth, and again, the trial hasn't happened yet, so I'm not casting judgment one way or another, but that's where the focus is going to be. The casting couch, I mean, yes, did these women, look, honestly, if I'm a woman and I'm asked to go up to the hotel room of a producer so I can meet him in his hotel room, and he opens the door in a robe, you can either go in or not go in. Unless he's pulling you in that room.
Right.
Now, should they be put in that position? Absolutely not. But doing that, he's a piece of garbage if he did that, right? But you still have the freedom of choice at that point to say, you know what, I'm not going to take this role. I don't care if this damages my career. I'm not going into this guy's hotel room when he's opening the door in a robe half open, and clearly, there's a problem that's going to occur. At that point, somebody's got to say, hey, I'm going to turn around and go down the elevator, and that's the end of that.
That's why Joe Tacopina makes all that money,
man.
That's
He's great.
What a brilliant defense.
Great appearance as always, Joe. We love having you on Monday mornings. Thank you so much. Have a great week. We'll do it again next week. Great job. Thank you, pal.
Good Monday. The Mets didn't lose yesterday, too.
Yeah. And guess what? They won't lose today either, because they've got a day off. The great Joe Tacopina.